tuko na plan mbili hapa leo. It is 2 in 1. Hii ambayo mnaiona hapa na ingine ambayo inaitwa Nakuru County Violence Prevention Policy. County Government of Nakuru, the Ministry of Public Service and Planning. These are 2 documents ambayo leo tunataka ku launch.
Thank you, Bwana MC. Our Deputy Governor, our Regional Commissioner, who has, by grace of God, been led to this forum, and we appreciate his presence, although he is heading somewhere else. The MCC, members of the committee, sub-county security teams, us to be happy this morning for sababu. The long journey is starting today. That is of implementation, because the one of preparing for the long, and we are happy. So we should really participate and be felt to be happy because the milestone is happening today. Now, kwa sababu the RC was ending to another forum that is being held in the same office, I mean the same building, to do with registration of persons. But by good luck, he was brought here because this is where most of his people are, although even those others are his. We are lucky to have him, and I'm sure you have not met him here in Nakuru. Are you happy to hear his voice? Yes. And now, I think we give a round of applause so that we can give him an opportunity to say hi. Thank you, sir.
County Commissioner Bwana Mbui, Deputy Governor, Nakuru, the County Security Team, DCCs and your security teams, Honorable MCS, washikadau wengine katika hii sekta ya usalama. Hamjambo. Mimi naitwa Natembea, ni Regional Commissioner wa Rift Valley. Nimekuwa ambushed kwa sababu nikikuja hapa nilikuwa naenda kufungua semina nyingine ya maofisa wa registration persons ambayo katika hii hoteli. So yule amenileta hapa na pia alikuwa ameona kuna uniform nyingi hapa. Akajua this is where I belong. But it also gives me an opportunity at least kusema jambo. Maana hii mambo sisi alikuwa ameniambia kwamba hako na function hapa, na ningependa tu kuchukua nafasi hii kushukuru wale wote ambao wameparticipate kutengeneza hii county action plan ambayo tunakuja kulonje leo. Kwa muda mrefu mambo ya countering violent extremism katika counties na katika sub counties imekuwa inafanywa in a very haphazard manner, lakini kwa sasa ni kama tumepata Biblia guidelines ile tutakuwa tunaangalia haya maneno. Na nyinyi mnajua ya kwamba mambo ya terrorism, extremism ni mambo ambayo ina affect sisi wote. Kwa muda mrefu watu wamekuwa na focus labda upande kule wa Nairobi, kule Northeastern, kule kwa mpaka kule Garissa, kule Mombasa kule. Lakini tujue kwamba wale watu wengi sana ambao wanafanya vile vitendo vya ugaidi, kama mmekuwa mnafuatilia, sio wazaliwa wa Mombasa ama kule Coast, sio wazaliwa wa Northeastern, wengi ni wazaliwa wa down Kenya. Wakikuyu, Wameru, Wajaluo, Wakalenjin. So wakati mtoto anapotea na kwenda, wewe hujui mahali yuko, kuna uwezekano amevuka, ameenda pande hiyo, anarudi ananyamaza. Wewe unafikiri alikuwa ameenda kufanya tamaki kule Nairobi, kuma ameenda kule Somalia, amekuwa foreign fighter kule, amepewa assignment, anakuja anakaa hapa ananyamaza. Ile ambayo wao tunaita sleeper cells. Watu wakisikia sleeper cells wanafikiri kwamba kuna cell kama ile ya OCS. Hapana, is an amorphous thing. Magari mahali amekaa pale na kikundi yake anaitwa sleeper cells. Amengojea ile siku, ataambia basi siku yako ya kufanya kazi imefika, enda pale Nakumat ama enda Waterback, kuna mkutano pale, enda fanya mambo yao kule. Anakuja hapa, wewe kama mzazi utamuona kwa TV. Akipia kifua kwamba amemaliza kazi. Tunaanza kushangaa, sio kijana ya so and so, sio kijana so and so. So wala ambao wanafanya hivi vitendo, they're not dropping from anywhere. Wanatoka mahali pengine, ni wale watoto wetu ambao tunajua, lakini labda we don't take interest kujua wanakaa namna gani. Wazazi pia wanapata, wazazi siku hizo wamepotea nyumbani na wanani. So napata ile moral authority mzazi. Kwa boma hakuna. Baba anakuja wakati watoto wamelala, mama amelala, watoto wanaamuka, mzee bado amelala. Mnakaa tu ni kama you are strangers in the home. So napata watoto wanalelewa na mama. Kulelewa na mama sio vibaya, I'm not prejudiced. But you see the authority of a male in the home is very important also. Yeah? Wewe mama amefanya makosa. So yule mtu ambaye uko naye kwa table unaassume pia amekuja hii maneno. Hata hujamwambia hai. Hata hujamsalimia. Tunakaa tu. So you need to know your neighbor. Hebu say hi to your neighbor. So mimi nawashukuru sana. Nawashukuru sana kabisa. Kaunti ya Nakuru, mnajua mji wetu hivi karibuni itakuwa city. Mambo ikikuwa city nakuja na mambo mengi sana. Mahali kuna wageni wengi wanakuja. Kwanza wale watalii. Hawa jamaa ndio roho za watu. Kwa hivyo ningependa msimame ngangari kama Nakuru, the headquarters of the region. We must lead by example. In fact, tulichelewa kuunda hii kitu. Mimi wakati nilikuwa county commissioner hapo Isiolo, hii kitu tuliunda kitambo sana na tukamaliza. And it's being implemented seriously. In fact, juzi kuna DC na OCBD walipata gari imejaa explosives na magaidi ndani ya na jamaa walikuwa wamenea kuja kupiga Nairobi. So watu wanafikiri labda DC na OCBD walikuwa wanatembea tu, then they stumbled upon that vehicle. Hapana, it was a very structured thing. At every particular time, pana kaa tu kwa ofisi unatembea, ukipata habari unaenda unaangalia. So it was in the course of that, some hada amepiga simu, kuna gari huko kichakani, wanakuja wanaangalia. Kufika pale ile gari OCBD inasimama namna hii na miminiwa marisasi. Kwenda kuangalia that old vehicle yote, na hiyo vehicle iliendeshwa na DC for about 60 kilometers. Kutoka ndani ya kichaka kupaka headquarters kule Merch. He did not know that vehicle was wired with bombs everywhere. Hata ile kitu ambayo alikuwa amekalia ilikuwa na bombs. Ilikuwa imengojea tu detonator peke yake. So we are living in a very dangerous world. Very casual. Anaingia na bunduki na kuangalia na kuguza hivi, hizo vitu zinalia. He doesn't know what he's looking for. Hajui. Yeye anaangalia tu, unaingia. Hii kitu inalia, hailii, nyinyi wote mnafanana tu. So we have to be security conscious, and I'm happy because sub-county teams are here. Please, let us go out there to hamasisha watu wajue kwamba we are living in a very tricky world now. Ningependa kushukuru ile ushirikiano naona county government na national government, lazima tufanye kazi pamoja na wafanyabiashara, viongozi wengine, opinion leaders, ili kuhakikisha kwamba tunafaulu pamoja. Kwa hayo mengi sana, hivyo ndio mimi usalimiana kwa Erin.
Okay, may I ask Mwania, am I right? not you. Walter, to make a brief remark.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, and the team that you are leading, the County Commissioner and the County Security Intelligence Committee and the team that you are leading. My name is Walter Mwania. I want to share briefly on the other document that we'll be launching today, the Nakuru County Violence Prevention Policy. And I want to emphasize on why we need this policy at the county level. I want to say that the vision for this policy is to create a safe and secure environment for all people and investments within Nakuru County. And the policy seeks to address all forms of violence. It seeks to address criminal violence, including organized violence or crime. It seeks to address intercommunal violence. You know, in Nakuru County, we are prone to political incitements around elections, so this policy seeks to address that. And I want to thank the County Security Intelligence Committee, especially in the last general election, by the leadership of the County Commissioner and his security team. Through a multi-agency approach, we were able to collectively address and prevent electoral-related violence, and we can be able to say with confidence, as the County Commissioner then affirmed, that due to collective action, we were able to have a peaceful election in the last general election. The policy also seeks to address violence against women and girls. You will bear me witness, many of us, we have gone to schools with you, and there is a lot of violence against children in our schools. We have a big issue with child defilement. We have so many underage pregnancies. So we have a lot of violence against women and girls that which this policy seeks to address also. And also, additionally, also countering violent extremism. Then the question is, why Nakuru Violence Prevention Policy? Statistically, when you look at the national crime data at the national level, Nakuru County ranks between number 1 to number 5 in terms of the county with the most forms of violence, of crimes that have been reported. According to a 2019 economic survey by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, it records that Nakuru recorded 88 murder cases, that is last year, with Eldoret leading with 90 cases. So when we compare ourselves, the 47 counties in Nakuru, we are seeing a lot of violence being reported. Then in 2016, Nakuru County came forth nationally in terms of the number of forms of violence that have been reported. And then, bear me, I would also want to share this with you, that there is a lot of violence or crime that is committed, but is not reported. So these are the reported instances of violence. The number 2, why do we need Nakuru Violence Prevention Policy? And I want to talk about the relationship between sustainable development, Your Excellency, and peace. And to cite the case of when the leadership of former President Mwai Kibaki, he built the economy of the country, did a lot of investments, grew the economy to 7.7%, the GDP. But within 1 or 2 months of post-election violence, the economy went down to 1.7, and even to date, years after post-election violence, we have not built our economy back to the GDP of 7%. So, Your Excellency, as we are doing investments as a county, we also need to cushion those investments by ensuring that we have sustainable peace. So this policy will help us achieve that. The other thing also which this policy seeks to address is normalization of violence. We have communities and people have grown up in communities seeing forms of violence being perpetrated, and to them it has become normal. It is normal to beat children, it is normal to beat your wife, it is normal to mark people. In fact, you could be marked and not even report that instance because it has become normal. But we are saying, and this policy comes to tell us that what we have been seeing as normal violence is not normal violence. We can be able to have a society without violence. And as I'm speaking, today, whereas our prisons are having inmates beyond their capacities, Netherlands is closing down its prisons and telling other nations, can you bring your inmates, we order them for you, so that our buildings do not go bigger. So what can we learn from that in terms of changing the mindset about violence and the culture of violence? The other thing also, why we need Nakuru violence prevention policy. The policy talks about and emphasizes inter-sectoral approach to violence prevention. Remember, here we are talking about preventing violence before it occurs. Because when you look at the cost of violence, once we begin addressing violence once it has occurred, we are incurring a lot of medical costs. A woman who was running a business, if she has been victimized, maybe she has been raped, the psychological effect of that, she may even end up losing that investment. The workers are working under. So basically what we are saying here is, all of us as stakeholders in Nakuru County, the national government, the county government, religious institutions, civil society organizations, all of us have an interest to seeing a peaceful and safe and secure neighborhood and community. So all of us, what we chose as civil society organizations who were part of this process is, having been a human rights organization, Your Excellency, we decided not to use a human rights-based approach, but to collaborate with government, such that if you have an issue with your office or the office of the county commissioner, we can walk into that office and in confidence share some of the concerns that we have. So basically what we are saying is we need the private sector to come in and to support this initiative. We need the business community, the religious institutions, because there's a study that we did and we're asking people, whom do you trust most? And religious institutions we are leading as the institution that people trust most. So we need all these stakeholders to come together for the sake of collaboration and collective action in violence prevention. And the key policy intervention areas for the policy, one is to challenge cultures, values, and norms that normalize violence. Even today, as we are speaking, there are areas where a child will be defiled, maybe by a father, which is happening in schools. And instead of that child being born, once that child is born, the family or the community says that child must be killed. So we want to challenge cultures, values, and norms that normalize violence. Two is to sustainably demobilize organized gangs. We have a challenge of organized gangs, but how do we sustainably demobilize them? Three, countering violent extremism, what Mabudi has mentioned. Four, strengthening institutions mandated to prevent violence. Sometimes we demand so much from institutions that are mandated to prevent violence, but their capacity is limited. How do we strengthen those institutions which are mandated to prevent violence to ensure that they have the equipment they need, they have all that they need so that they can be able to deliver? Four is rebuilding community trust between police, government, and citizens. How do we build trust? Because if I do not have confidence with the police and have information, what Mamburu was sharing, of people who are planning a terrorist activity, I will not share that information with the police because I don't trust the police. So how do we ensure that the members of the public can be able to trust the police, can be able to trust government institutions, so that we can be able to share information to prevent violence? The other policy intervention area for this document is addressing political incitements and influence that threaten peace and security. And this was one of the things that in the run-up to the last general election, which we agreed with the county commissioner and his team then, and we said violence must be held personally accountable. And several politicians were arrested, and because of that, we were able to address that. So basically, we are saying it can happen in other areas, but when it comes to Nakuru County, how do we ensure that no politician will be allowed to incite violence in Nakuru County? The other one, policy intervention area, is to promote land reforms and management of natural resources. And the last one is improving reporting of violence and use of data for violence-based interventions. And on this, Your Excellency, we have developed a violence observatory in Nakuru County, whereby we are saying, can we, all of us, share data in terms of the violence instances that are reported, so that we can, all of us, get to know the magnitude of the issues that we are dealing with. So that is my submission. And lastly, I want to end with a Bible quotation from Genesis 11, 1 to 9, where wicked people were building a Tower of Babel, and they wanted to go and see where God lives. These were people with bad intentions. But God says in verse 6 of Genesis 11, if as one people speaking the same language, they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible to them. If as one people we have agreed to prevent violence, and we are speaking the same language, and we have begun to do this, then nothing that we have begun to do will be impossible for us. Thank you. God bless you.
One people intending to do one thing. Look at one people, serious. You want to do one purpose and one thing. I hope you kizi nafikiria. So niruhusu nimkaribishe Mheshimiwa Karanja, MCA Naivasha East, ambaye ni chairman ya Security Committee ya County Assembly. Thank you very much.
Nafikiria DG ametoka kidogo, DG Bwana Mwania, ofisi yote ya wale ambao wanahusika na usalama hapa, wananchi wa Nakuru, hamujambo? Hamujambo. Mimi kwa majina naitwa Karanja wa Boy wa Mariamu, watu wanaita mtoto ya single mother. Na mimi ni ndiye chairman wa committee ya Security and Governance katika County Assembly. Na sisi hii policy ambayo tunapitisha leo ilipitia kwa bunge. Na ni vizuri mjue ya kwamba wale watu ambao walihusika kuhakikisha ya kwamba this policy was adopted in the house so that wewe na mimi tufungwe nayo tuwe kitu kimoja. Kwa hivyo nafikiria kwamba take this opportunity niwaite waheshimiwa ambao wako katika kamati ya usalama ambao tulishirikiana nao. Simame, muko wapi? I have my vice chair, Honorable Wanyagodhie. Huyo ndiye vice chair. I have Honorable Maru. I also have, where is Rose? I have Honorable Kajuang. Tuko wengi. Kujeni hapa muonekane. Unajua ni vizuri muone hawa waheshimiwa so that kukiwa na shida mnataka kurekebisha katika policy, you know whom to approach. Hivyo kujeni hapa muonekane na kamera. Na muone wale waheshimiwa ambao tunao, na hao ni waheshimiwa ambao kama kuna sheria inatakikana kupitishwa watapitisha. Sema jina lako na pahali umetoka.
Good morning. All protocols observed. My name is Wahome Jambo Kenya. I represent a ward called Kiamaina in Bahari Sub-County. I'm also the Deputy Minority Whip County Assembly of Nakuru. Thank you very much.
Jambo, kwa majina Nakuru Bet from Baruti Ward, elected.
Jambo, my name is Peter Kajuan, representing Kaptembo Ward. Thank you.
Praise God. Peter Njoroge Nyagodhi, but najulikana kama Wanyagodhi, CA Biashara Ward, and also the Vice Chair for Security. Thank you.
Okay, jambo nyote. Kwa majina naitwa Rachel Maru, natoka upande wa Molo Ward. Mimi ni nominated. Mimi ni member wa committee ya security. At the same time, I'm a member of Kenya Red Cross. Asante.
Jambo nyote. Jambo. Ya kwa majina naitwa Rose Gadoni Njoroge kutoka Gilgil. I've been nominated by the Jubilee Party and I'm a member of the Security Committee. Asante.
Jambo. Naitwa Langat Paul na wakilisha Kapkures. Asante.
Situwapigie makofi. 1 minute. We have been working with Honorable this document. Honorable Peter Bai ambaye ni daktari. Yeye ana PhD katika hili, mimi nina masters. Sasa aje dakika moja muone vile masters na degree zinafanya kazi kuhakikisha kwamba mnaishi bila silaha.
And thank you so much. I'll be very brief, Bwana MC, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, CC, and your team. I can see the DCCs and the entire security team. Na wote ambao wamekuja hapa na wasalimu hamjambo. I'll be very brief. I'm a member for Kambazi, MCA, Dr. Peter Mbaye. Now, I'm a friend of the committee. That's how we work in the assembly. I'm a friend of the Security Committee and Governance. And my background is on peace and conflict. That's what I did at the PhD level. I have only 2 issues to share. Bwana CC, Your Excellency, this is a very solemn activity, and it's a start of a long journey. We talk about structures and forums and policies and all those kind of things. It is time to implement. Why? Because CC, Your Excellency, Nakuru County is among the top 3 counties out of 47 in all ways, and in some ways is leading. In terms of economic activities, in terms of centrality in the country, it's everything. As we think about the city and other things, many challenges are going to come. Your Excellency and the County Commissioner, one, as an assembly, what we are going to assure you is that we are going to be very deeply involved in legislation. We started with the policy. CC, very soon, we are going to come up with a bill on peace, again, something else similar to that. And very soon, already with the 2 we have here, if there's any other legislation needed, I know security is purely under the 4th schedule, it's purely a national government function. But by implementing or to operationalize the issue of security, we need the counties and we need the people in the counties. That's where we come in. That's where we took upon ourselves through the Midlift organization and others to pass the policy. Secondly, we are going any other legislation needed, policy or the law. We want to assure you we are going to work very hard. Some of us, we do this out of passion because we believe in security of this place where we were born. Number 2 is that as MCAs, we may not fit. I have seen the drafts we have gone through, and Midlift and other organizations, they have really insisted on putting MCAs in the structures. I want to say this, we may not literally fit in the formal structures because our work is oversight. But we want to assure you, you don't need to see us there to know that we are behind you. We will be able to work with you in the policy on prevention, on violence, on this other policy on terrorism. We are going to make sure that we fit. We are going to spend more hours trying to look at the implementation framework of all these so that they can work. Why? Because as members of the county assembly, we are 78, 55 elected and 23 nominated. We represent every village in this county. So we'll be the first source, among others, on giving information, sharing information on everything. So one part of what we are going to do in implementation, Your Excellency and the CC, is to get all the members of the county assembly through the committee to come and tell them this is the information we need. What we are looking for is this. In our studies on peace and conflict, by all means necessary, prevent. That is the core issue here we are talking about. We'll be very, very, very unfortunate to see what has been happening in Westgate here. It will be a disaster. Prevention is so expensive that it takes not months, years to bring back. If we can come out of this session with that spirit and we go on implementation, Bwana CC, there's a lot of work you're going to do. One of the things we were thinking in these policies is this. Everything at the county, we are going to have a body at the county level, but it will go automatically to the sub-counties, where the DCC and the sub-county administrator will be in charge. And maybe they can co-opt the member of parliament. Then it will go to the ward level, then to the villages. And because you have the structures, Bwana CC, and since the county government have the structures on the ground, I'm sure we can have a very strong group that is aimed on one thing, prevention. Forget about dealing. We are working. I'm a member of the disaster committee, CC, and we are coming up with a bill called, we found it being called Disaster Management Bill. We changed it to disaster prevention because we cannot everybody talking about management. And the same thing though. So this team we are talking about at the sub-county level ward, they'll be able to be in charge of identifying anything that can deviate from peace. What we want is to live harmoniously, so we are going to put all these places. We are going to support. And finally, partnership, collaboration, cooperation, and networks. That's why we are here. We have the NGO, we have the elders, we have the church, we have everybody else. Through that, we are going to go very far in this county. God bless Nakuru County. Asante sana.
Thank you, Daktari. I didn't know you were that resourceful. So from management to prevention. So instead of managing, why don't you prevent? That's the key word, isn't it? That's the key word. So may I take this opportunity to invite Mwania the CEC in charge of public service aseme jambo.
Thank you, Shafi. Let me start by appreciating our Deputy Governor for being with us today. Let me also appreciate my two colleagues, the two CEC, CEC Education and CEC Sports, for being here today, the two CEOs, Chief Officer Youth Sports and the Chief Officer Public Service. Thanks a lot for coming. Let me also thank the County Commissioner for his commitment and guidance when we were coming up with these documents. He was very passionate about it. Let me also thank the Assembly leadership for facilitating what they were supposed to facilitate. Thanks a lot for that. And other partners who did assist us in coming up with these documents. Several partners, and also the Secretariat, they were very committed, and we can see the results of their commitment. The documents we are having today are very important because they're able to assist us in prevention. These documents gives us a platform for collaboration between the county government and the national government, as well as involving the citizens, because in many cases they are the victims. We need, as other leaders have said, to involve the public in the management of security issues, because they know much more than us who are seated in our offices. They are down there where things are happening, and they know much more of what is happening down there than us. So we need to create an opportunity and an environment where they can freely come up and share with us, and from there we'll be able to take action. This policy also links the national government and the county governments on issues to do with security issues. As we all know, security is purely a national government affair, but it happens here. It happens where people are. It happens where we are all living. It involves all of us. So we must have a link between the national government and the county government so that we can be able to assist the national government maintain security. We will support the national government in issues to do with community policing and the Nyumba Kumi initiatives through our structures, the sub-county administrators and the village ward administrators and everybody else. We will support your initiatives. Community policing involve us much more in the meetings, and also the Nyumba Kumi initiative is the best, so that we can be able to know who is around and what he's doing, and by that we'll be able to prevent violence and insecurity issues. Lastly, we will also support frequent security assessments of our buildings and workplaces and everywhere else. Recently, we got a good report, a raft of measures on how to improve security in our buildings. I think it was done by the Deputy County Commissioner Nakuru East with his security team. They came everywhere. We got a good report. We are going to implement it so that we can ensure our workplaces are secure and safe. With those few remarks, let me say once again, thanks a lot for coming. This launch is a success because you are here. If you never came, it would not be a success. Thanks a lot, and may God bless you. Let me take this opportunity to welcome, to bring on board the County Commissioner to lead us from here henceforth. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Waziri Bwana Mwania, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, Nakuru County, our able Security Committee
at the county assembly, led by the able chairman, Mheshimiwa Karanja, and all other honorable members of the county assembly of Nakuru, the delegates who are here present today, not forgetting the committee that was involved in the drafting of this action plan, both the policy and the action plan, and all participants who are here today. Once more, good morning. Jambo tena. Nafikiri nilisema tu ni jambo la furaha kwamba leo tuko hapa tukisherehekea kuanzishwa kwa hii rapid action plan on preventing and countering violent extremism, and at the same time the policy that goes with it, as prepared by the county assembly in conjunction with Midlift. Tunasikizana kweli? What do you feel when you see a police officer moving around your estate? Do you feel like it's an intrusion? And you try to be friendly? As we are doing some reforms that we want to be more friendly to you, the civilian population, are you ready to embrace us? Are you ready to embrace us? Or you'll always see and associate us with brutality? We are long over with brutality. All that we do today is use reasonable force to enforce law when force has to be used. But under normal circumstances, we just talk and negotiate. And the process that we had here, you can bear me witness, it was not forced down your throat. Everybody gave their views, either as a group or individually. That was a representative of the population. The civil societies, the media, kindly help us carry the correct message, because this is a serious thing. We need to secure our country. And by making sure that Nakuru is safe, that is all that there is. Probably I want those who participated in making this dream come true. Can you stand? Simameni tu. We want to see you. Wale wamewakilishwa hapa. Simameni tu. Kuna wengine. Wapi Mheshimiwa Maru? Sijui ama alitoka? Na Mheshimiwa you are also there. Mwangangi, waziri ulikuweko pia. Uliwakilisha gavana vizuri. These are just a few. There was a Professor Diambo Pia from Egerton University. There were quite a number of religious leaders, although I can't see them. But you can see the representation, the business community. Bwana Mugo is one of them. Political class, kuna Mheshimiwa, kuna county government was ably represented, and not only Bwana Mwanya, but also quite a number of MCA, Nyagudhi were there. The deputy speaker was also there for the two forums, for the 2 days forum. I think you can say that mmeonekana. The DCCs were also there the first day. I didn't know why they didn't stand, because you were also there the first day. You participated and you gave your views. Actually, you left for now analysis after everything had been done. And also the police were also involved and well represented. So kuna wengine hawajasimama, sijui kama hawakuamini kwamba wamekuwa, lakini wote walihusika. Rukia sijaona akisimama. She was also there and gave us a lot of. I would just want to recognize each and every one of you. Now the journey has started for implementation. But more, I want to appreciate the office of the governor, to emphasize on that. because I think for 2 occasions we have had a lengthy meeting, and he has, behind the scenes, supported us in a big way. So it is the concern of everybody. Now that we have the baby, kindly, Your Excellency, ukifika, ambia His Excellency the Governor, the baby needs to grow. Mheshimiwa Chairman wa Security, ambia Mheshimiwa Speaker and the County Assembly, the baby is born but needs to grow. Kindly, let's not strangle. Let's ensure that we support each other. It is not predominated by the security teams. We want to move together because I believe the security of this county cannot be entirely placed in the hands of just government employees. We have to work as a team. Your opinions are quite important to us in the new dispensation. We can't work alone, that's my emphasis. Now, I want us to stand and applaud His Excellency as he comes to do the necessary. Tumkaribisha na makofi moja. Karibu Mheshimiwa, zungumza na watu wako.
Asante.
Sawa, tunaweza.
Asante sana, our County Commissioner, our Regional Commissioner, even though he was here briefly, our CECs, our DCCs, our COs, our ACCs who are here, and all the stakeholders, and our waheshimiwa wetu wa County Assembly, because we're a chairman wa security, and all the stakeholders who are here today from various sectors. Good morning. I hope it's still morning. It is. I stand here before you today to be part of this team that says we want peace and a lasting peace in our county. That's why His Excellency the Governor made sure that the committee that you've seen, we made sure we gave them a very good place to do their report, the writing, and the resources they needed so that this policy could become a reality. So before I say much, I'll bring you greetings from His Excellency the Governor. Mnazipokea? Our Governor is held up in some other 2 meetings, and he told me to actually join you guys in launching these 2 articles today, part of the action plan, and of course, the counter-violence prevention policy. First, before I read his speech, I want to say just a few things. The chairman of the Security Committee, Mheshimiwa Mariam, was telling us, he was trying to simplify the policy in simple terms as to what does it mean. I hope you're aware, because most of you are actually involved in most of the issues pertaining to government. You're aware we now have some doctors from Cuba. Has any one of us visited some of these doctors in their places of work? How many have seen doctors from Cuba? Yeah, very few of us. They don't even know exist. Some people even actually think maybe they don't exist. Am I right? Among these doctors, there are people we call primary health workers. There are people who are actually involved in primary health. Before you go to hospital, there are several things you need to work on to make sure you don't go to hospital. One among them, if you don't wash your hands before you eat, what will happen? You'll have started developing some stomach aches. Am I right? If in case whatever you've gone, after greeting everybody here, of course you don't know where each and everyone has come from, isn't it? So what will happen is you will actually be having a lot of problems with your tummy. But if you wash your hands, you avoid going to where? To the hospital. And that is what we are doing with this policy. We are saying, what can we do to prevent us from getting from stage 1 to stage what? Stage 2. That is very critical. And we need all of us to come together to see where are we. Tutafanya nini ili tusipatikane na hili janga ambalo linakuja pande hii. A lot has been said about the security in our buildings. I was discussing with our county commissioner, when you go to most hospitality centers, be it hotels, be it some center, for example, the way they do the search is actually one thing. And I'm happy the county commissioner and the entire security team, I think they should be able to take these security agents in some course to show them what is it that they want. You can be telling a security guard at our gate that there is something called a grenade, and they don't even know how a grenade looks like. You could be telling them of a gun or a bomb, and they don't actually know how it looks like. And then we might end up actually accusing them of not doing their work properly, and yet they don't actually know what it is all about. So it will be very good for us also in the security team. If these guys are actually involved in security, let's give them proper training. Let's help them also learn. This is how a bullet looks like. This is how a gun looks like. This is how a bomb looks like. So that when they are searching, they actually know what they are actually doing, what they are searching. Because otherwise there will just be some efforts in futility. So those are some of the things that we need to take them through so that they can also appreciate and learn. Because we just pick up a villager and take them from a training in the village just to say forward march for 2 weeks, and then they are here protecting us. Am I right? Yeah. Just for 1 week, and then we buy them uniforms, and then we contract a security firm, and we call that a security firm. And yet we've not given them that proper training so that they can also know what they are looking for. We've been hearing a lot about security cameras, and we want to continue requesting a collaboration between us and the county commissioner, and of course the national government, in putting up CCTV cameras in our town. Those ones, they will help us a lot in terms of monitoring crimes. We've seen, for example, when there are crimes in Nairobi, they can easily monitor where the particular individual was passing through from point A to B to C. So if in our city also we start developing that, think of actually that plan to put up these cameras so that it can help us in terms of security within this particular great town. The city is coming. Nakuru city is coming, and we are not talking about Nakuru alone. Nakuru County is known for the biggest hospitality. I think it's actually second to Mombasa, if not actually catching up with it. From Naivasha to this place, there are so many hospitality hotels. And what we need to do is, we need to make sure these people who visit these hospitality centers, these hotels that we have, they feel they are secure. We want them to wake up to come and rest in the evening and go out and visit some 1 or 2 different places just to while away the night very easily and very nicely, knowing that there is peace in Nakuru. That is very critical for us, and even as we move towards that status, we should not be fearing a lot about what's happening, but there are more good than bad that will come with that city status. More funding, more security, and so many other things that will accompany our city, and we will be saying Nakuru should have been a city some years back, not today, not tomorrow. So those are some of the things that we need to come together. I want to thank the members of the Fourth Estate. You'll be playing a very critical role also in terms of reporting some of these issues that we have. And I will want to make a very humble request that let's make reporting that is actually good for our county as well. The reporting that will not actually be putting Nakuru in the negative light, but the one that will actually be supporting. Let's add a narrative that is saying, even though we have this, we have made these strides here and there, so that somebody can compare where we came from and where we are. Because if we just hit it hard, it will not be right, because there are so many positives that has happened. And when you see one or two negatives, I think it will be very good also to show us that this is where we started, these are some of the things we've done, and this is where we are. But despite this, we have this challenge that is coming here and there. That will be very good and responsible reporting, and it will actually make our county shine. I know at times people think news is only bad news. Even good news can be good, can be news. And if we can report that, then it will be very good for us and for our county as well. And we want to continue. We're happy so. We're happy though that for the last 1.5 years, 1 year and some few months, we've seen some very good work going on from members of our Fourth Estate, and we want to say, let's try to improve that. Let's try to make it better. I normally give an example of New York. New York City has the highest crime rate in the world. The highest. But do we hear of the crime rate in New York City? Every 20 seconds somebody dies there, is killed in one way or another. Very many deaths in that city every few. But they don't concentrate on that negative element. They concentrate on the positives that come up with it. That this is what we're doing, this is how we are covering those who are trying to kill, and so on and so forth. That's why we would want to go to that city very easily without worrying. But if you portray our city, for example, 1 or 2 people are hijacked, you say Nakuru is actually a mess in terms of security. No one would want to come here, which will be very, very bad for our hospitality industry, and even as a county, it will not be very well. Otherwise, I wouldn't want to say much for now, but I just want to request all of us to continue maintaining this peace that we have. Mheshimiwa huyu wetu wa Mariamu was trying to tell us about who wins in a case where there is violence. No one wins. And wherever we go, we heard from Mwangangi, the Mwangangi guy. Where is the, I don't know if there's a cousin to our Mwangangi or they're just names. Mwania. He was telling us about what happened between 20, when Kibaki took over. The country was doing a 7% in terms of the rate, the GDP that was happening at the time. The violence brought it close to 0 in just a matter of seconds. We've seen one of the greatest developments under the Jubilee administration, under Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Because the investments, the road networks, the work that they have done within the last 6 years is unprecedented. We've seen roads in the very rural areas that have never been thought of. We've seen water, we've seen development in even the remotest of places from the time the new constitution was promulgated. But even that, even though because of all that, we are still now looking close to 6.5 in terms of development. So for you to turn around a case where there is no peace to a place where there is prosperity, it will take a very long time, a very long time. So we would want to say, let's maintain this peace by all costs, because it will help us, it will make us prosper. And Nakuru is actually cosmopolitan. This is where Kenya is. It's not just central, but it's Kenya in terms of everyone is here. And we want to say, let's embrace it, so that every other part of Kenya can continue to shine. And that is why these policies are very good for us and they are very good for our country. Allow me to say something to read the speech by His Excellency, and then we launch the counter-violent policy, prevention policy. I just want to be very brief here and say, this policy gives direction on how violence will be managed in Nakuru County through the inter-sectoral dialogue and collaborations, promotion of trust between the citizens and the police, improvements in data collection analysis and sharing among stakeholders, as well as the response mechanism. It aims at creating a safe, secure environment for all the people and investments. The broad objective of this policy is to enhance the safety and security in Nakuru County through intersectoral collaborations and multidimensional approach to violence prevention. This will be done through the following specific policy objectives: to change the culture of violence in Nakuru County, to sustainably reduce organized violence in Nakuru County, to strengthen institutions for violence prevention in Nakuru County, and to rebuild community trust in Nakuru County, to prevent and manage political violence in Nakuru County, and to deepen violence prevention in land reforms in Nakuru County, and finally, to enhance reporting of violence and data use in Nakuru County. It focuses on ensuring equity, people-centeredness, and a participatory approach, efficiency, a multi-sectoral approach, and a social accountability in the delivery of violence prevention services. The county government department responsible for enforcement, in collaboration with all relevant stakeholders, shall develop a framework for implementation of this policy paper. The department shall be responsible for coordination and operationalization of the policy pending establishment of County Violence Prevention Council. Thank you. I don't know from here, I stand to be guided. I think the next thing is to launch it. Am I saying the right thing? Thank you. So where are we? Who will take us through the next stage? Omondi.
And Omondi, really we need to thank. Now, thank you, HE, for that good speech. We really need also to thank Omondi and Minlift. I think he didn't even stand when you were starting. Oh, I never saw you. This is the man who has made us be here today to actualize what we are doing because of his much effort and much brains in the two documents. Actually, I have no words. Thank you so much.
So that we can raise them a little bit.
Let them be seen, like so. Thank you. Are we set?